It was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime. March 14, 2019, the start of spring break. Thousands of college students flooded airports and highways across the country, chasing sunshine, parties, and freedom. Among them was 20-year-old Claire Donovan, a journalism major at the University of Michigan, known for her bright smile, quick wit, and the way she could make anyone laugh with her dry sense of humor. She'd been planning this trip for months. A week in Clearwater Beach, Florida, with 3 of her friends, Kayla, Megan, and Jordan. They'd booked an Airbnb, packed too many swimsuits, and filled their group chat with countdown emojis and TikTok videos about beach outfits and travel hacks. But by the time the trip was over, only 3 of them would make it home. Claire never came back. The story of her disappearance didn't start on a beach or in a dark alley. It started online, with a series of Instagram stories, text messages, and videos that would later become the center of one of the most haunting missing person investigations of the decade. When the girls arrived in Florida, everything looked perfect. Their first post together was a boomerang, 4 plastic cups clinking together under a pink sunset, captioned Spring Break 19. In the background, you could hear music and laughter. Over the next 2 days, Claire's social media told a story that seemed so normal, it almost felt boring. Beach selfies. A slow-motion video of waves. A shot of her holding a pineapple-shaped cocktail, tagged at the tiki house. But hidden in those posts, in what she didn't show, were the first signs that something wasn't right. Around the 3rd night, Claire started posting less. Her friends would later tell investigators that she'd gotten into an argument with Jordan, the only guy in their group, after he invited a few people they just met back to the Airbnb. Claire didn't like it. She'd always been careful, the type to share her location with her roommate and text her mom after every night out. That night, though, she went quiet. At 11:37 p.m., she posted a short clip on her Instagram story, just 4 seconds long. It showed neon lights reflecting off the wet pavement outside a crowded bar called the Sandbar. You could hear shouting, laughter, and what sounded like Claire's voice saying, "Let's just go home." The clip vanished after 24 hours, like all stories do. But by then, Claire herself had vanished too. Her friends said they last saw her around midnight. Kayla told police that Claire had decided to walk the few blocks back to their Airbnb alone after Jordan got into an argument with a group of guys. She said she'd meet us back there, Kayla recalled. She wasn't drunk. She was just done with the night. The next morning, Claire wasn't in her room. Her bed was made, her phone charger still plugged in. Her wallet, ID, and shoes were gone. Her phone, though, that was missing too. At first, her friends assumed she'd gone for a walk or gotten breakfast. But as the hours passed, panic started to creep in. Calls went straight to voicemail. Texts never delivered. By afternoon, they contacted local police. The Clearwater PD opened a missing person report that same day. At first, they thought it might be a case of a college student partying too hard, maybe she'd taken off on her own, maybe she was sleeping it off somewhere. But then they started tracing her phone activity. The last ping came from a cell tower less than a mile from the Airbnb, at 12:14 a.m. After that, silence. Detectives began combing through Claire's digital footprint, her Instagram DMs, Snapchat messages, texts, and her location history. What they found painted a picture that was both fascinating and terrifying. Claire had been texting someone that night, a guy named Eli, whose real name would later turn out to be Elias Carter, a 23-year-old local who worked at a nearby marina. They'd met 2 nights earlier when the group rented jet skis. He'd flirted with her, she'd laughed it off, but they kept talking. Her last text to him, sent at 11:58 p.m., read, "Are you still at the Sandbar?" He replied, "Yeah, come by." She never answered. When police brought Elias in for questioning, he seemed calm. He admitted they'd texted but claimed he hadn't seen her that night. He said she ghosted him after a few messages. But phone data showed otherwise. Elias's phone had been in the same area as Claire's just minutes before her signal went dead. Still, there wasn't enough to arrest him. And without a body, or evidence of foul play, investigators were stuck. Days turned into weeks. Flyers with Claire's photo, her bright green eyes, her dimpled smile, covered every lamppost in Clearwater. Her parents flew down from Michigan and made desperate pleas on TV. Volunteers searched beaches, woods, and abandoned lots. Nothing. Then, about a month later, a TikTok went viral. A user named at Clearwater Clips posted a video compilation from that night, clips from people who'd been at the sandbar. The user had pieced together crowd videos, background cameos, and reflections in windows. At the 0:37 mark, you could see her. Claire, walking past the bar entrance, alone, holding her phone, looking over her shoulder. And behind her, barely visible, was a man. Viewers slowed the footage down, zoomed in, debated endlessly in the comments. Some claimed it was Elias. Others thought it was someone else entirely. But what really set off alarms was what came next. 2 days after the TikTok went viral, a new account appeared on Instagram, under the handle @. It had only one post, a photo of a shoreline at dusk, captioned, "She loved it here." The account followed only one person, Claire Donovan. Police subpoenaed the IP address. It traced back to a public Wi-Fi network near the Clearwater Marina, where Elias worked. This time, they brought him in again. Under pressure, Elias admitted he'd met with Claire briefly that night. He said she was upset and wanted to cool off by walking near the beach. He claimed he left her there, alive. He denied having anything to do with her disappearance. But something about his story didn't fit. Phone records showed he'd driven his truck across the Sand Key Causeway around 12:30 a.m., heading toward a remote stretch of coastline known for being empty at night. Surveillance footage from a toll booth captured his truck entering. It never showed it leaving. 2 days later, police found the vehicle hidden behind an old maintenance shed near the dunes. Inside, they found a pair of women's flip-flops, a torn hoodie, and strands of hair that DNA later confirmed belonged to Claire. Elias was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. But without a body, the case was difficult. During the trial, prosecutors presented a chilling timeline, reconstructed almost entirely from social media and digital data. Claire's Instagram story. Elias's location pings. The TikTok footage. Even timestamps from her Google account. Every second of her last night alive had been recorded in some way, just fragmented across the internet. The jury deliberated for 2 days before finding Elias guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But even now, years later, Claire's body has never been found. Her parents still run a page called Find Claire Donovan, where they post updates and photos every March, hoping someone, somewhere, knows what happened after that final Instagram story. And every spring, when college students head south chasing the same sun and the same thrill that Claire once did, her story resurfaces, a ghost haunting the hashtags. Because in an age where every moment is documented, every smile is filtered, and every memory is posted for the world to see, it's easy to think nothing can truly disappear. But sometimes, it's not the things we post that matter most. It's the silence that comes after.